Uhlmann reporting for Katie Chats, here with writer-director Donovan Marsh of iNumber. How does it feel to have your feature film screening at the Toronto International Film Festival?
Oh, thank you, Katie. No, it feels absolutely fantastic. I had never any ambition for the movie to come out of South Africa, and it's just wonderful being here. The Toronto audiences are absolutely fantastic, and they're appreciative of the films. And so I feel really, really blessed to have my film here and getting the recognition that it's getting. Thank you. Yeah.
What is the importance of the subtitles in your film?
Well, there's about 8 or 9 different languages in my film. And no matter who you are in South Africa, you're going to need those subtitles. Otherwise, you're not going to understand what's going on. And I also knew I wanted it to play to an international audience, and those subtitles are really important. So I wanted to do something kind of fresh and fun with them and not make them a chore to read, And they're almost like a character in the film. They're kind of fun, and they add almost to the environment that you're in. So they became an important sort of stylistic element to just make the film, a bit more of a ride.
Was it difficult shooting a film in so many languages?
I had this most amazing cast to really help me understand these languages, and we workshopped the languages very carefully with them. And the guy who plays the baddie, Scruff, in the movie is a real gangster. He's from the prisons. And I sat down with him, we workshopped the dialogue together. And it's actually fantastic when you're working out of your first language, because it forces you to really concentrate on what's important about dialogue, which is intent and emotion and feeling. And amazingly, even if I didn't understand exactly what they were saying, I always knew when a take was good, when it was working, and I always chose the right take, and that's kind of amazing, yeah.
And tell me a little bit about the importance and the significance of cell phones within the film and within the community as well.
Yeah, when they brought cell phones to South Africa, they all thought the black population is not going to be able to afford to buy them. But they didn't realize that communication is a very important part of the black culture, especially in the migrant system where people live so far away from each other. Some of them have moved from the rural areas to the cities to work, and they never had a way of really communicating with each other because the landline system didn't work so well. And so cell phones became so important, and no matter who you are in South Africa, no matter how poor you are, you have a cell phone, and it's the prime means of communication. And you're always seeing everyone from domestic workers to people sweeping the streets. One hand they're sweeping the street, the other hand on a cell phone. And so it's really part of the culture, an important part of the culture. And so I kind of wanted to bring that in a fun way in the beginning of the movie. Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about the casting process in terms of starting off with the TV series Class Act and how that evolved into influencing the film.
Yeah. In South Africa, we don't really have a star system, or we don't have actors that are supported by the people. So I wanted to create a TV show that not only developed new talent, but created a star that people would follow and actually go to the movies and want to watch. And in this way, we could develop the film industry. So I created a TV show called Class Act, which is kind of like Idols, but for actors. And we found this guy on the streets of Durban, just an out-of-work actor, Stumom Charlie, who plays the lead in the film. And we developed him through the process of the TV show, and he became this incredible film actor, to the point that he can actually carry an action film that you've just seen. And so, that was really exciting. So we found him, and then we paired him up with the most experienced actor in South Africa, Presley Twene, a guy who was the lead actor in Tsotsi, which actually won Toronto a number of years ago. And so that was just a wonderful pairing. And then the rest of the actors are people who have a background in gangsterism or understand that world. And I just wanted to create something really authentic that South Africans could identify with, and I think you also feel the authenticity when you watch it and appreciate it more for that.
How did you get in touch with a real gangster?
Actually, through the casting agent. He's the most amazing guy who had he's a real criminal. This is Israel Makwe, who plays Scruff in the movie, the main baddie, and he's been in prison for doing the kind of jobs that are actually in my film, and he trying to use acting to get out of it, and actually was doing a lot of theatre to communicate to people that crime doesn't pay. And my casting agent kind of met him through that, and then suggested him to me, and I met with him, and he was just kind of really amazing, and we kind of hit it off. And he had he's got a real attitude. It's kind of scary to hang around, but I just got on really well with him, and he really helped me create this really authentic world. And I think, when you're going to represent gangsterism, you don't want to make it up. You want to show it as it is if you want people to invest and buy into it, and to create a freshness and a new perspective on it. Yeah.
Was it difficult for you to strike the balance between violence and comedy in the film?
There's an amazing thing in black culture where they find violence funny. And the reason that is because it's we come from a very violent past, and in order to cope with the violence, they use laughing in order to cope with it, and that creates a very interesting tension when you show the movie to a black audience. They find it really funny, including the violent parts. But it's almost a catharsis that they're using, and it's a catharsis for them to laugh at it, and it's a way for them to cope with it from, you know, having their own very violent pasts. And that also filters down into how the gangsters interact with each other, and they use comedy and they use the way they speak just to diffuse the tension in the situations, and so that it doesn't escalate. And so the comedy is a very important part of the way the gangsters communicate with each other. And amazing, it's a weird way that South Africans find, I don't want to trivialize it by saying they find it funny in a funny sense, but they use it to make it not so sore, you know, and that's how we deal with a difficult past.
Well, thank you so much. Congratulations, and have an amazing time at the Toronto International Film Festival.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm Katie Uhlmann reporting for Katie Chats in downtown Toronto.